and welcome to another Bookshop video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. And that excitement is real. How excited I've been so well behaved. This box has arrived today. Ugh! And I've been waiting so patiently to open it for David to finish work, because in this I've been waiting patiently. Do you feel excited?
You've been waiting. I don't know about patiently.
Well,
hurry up, hurry up.
Are you finished yet? Are you finished yet?
Yeah.
Anyway, David's finished work now. Hurrah! So we can celebrate by opening this big box of books. Hold it up together. Big box of books, which is very exciting. These books, these are shortlisted books for the Indie Book Awards, and this video is coming alongside another video that will be out a bit later on in the month, where David and I are going to visit an independent bookshop week, because we are celebrating Independent Bookshop Week, which runs between the 15th and the 22nd of June, David, and that will be all culminating in a cosy reading night, an Independent Bookshop Week cosy reading night on Saturday the 22nd of June. So we will be doing that. There'll be a video coming up with our TBR for the cosy reading night, and yeah, it's going to be great. But this is something that runs alongside that. These are the Indie Book Award books. I'm just aware there's so much. So let's open here. Is it taking everything you've got not to just look at concentrate on this little bit that I've written here? Because I can just see you not joining in, just like,
oh, you've written something on there. I was thinking,
yeah, so I don't have to look at
why has it delivered this, written these dates?
No, I've written it on there. But you were just like, you just can't concentrate on anything, can you? Other than what's going. How am I going to open this? So in here we have, oh, the reason David's here as well. Oh God. So in here is the, yeah, you get on with that. So this is,
gives me something to concentrate on. Give
David something to concentrate on. So David has long seen me get very, very excited about various shortlists and long lists over the years, mainly the Women's Prize for Fiction long list, but every year you sort of watch me get very, I'm so worried about you chopping your actual hands off. Every year he watches me get very excited about this, and this year we had the sort of idea that when I got sent the Indie Book Awards books, God, I'm so frightened of him chopping his hand off, that between us we would read one of the shortlists. So in this box, yes, I believe there to be 4 shortlists: a fiction shortlist, a non-fiction shortlist,
sorry, big head in the way,
a picture book. We won't be reading the picture book shortlist, and a children's shortlist. So here we are, a whole box of books, and we're going to have a look at the books together, and then we're going to decide which shortlist we are going to read. So, is there a piece of paper in here? No. Oh, well, first of all,
ooh, merch.
This is, oh, it's a, yeah, this is unrelated, I believe. Oh, and it's got a
nagging.
Oh, it's a copy of Book Time plus a. Oh, it feels like there's some sort of snack in here, David. Oh no, it's not. It's a book. It's a book voucher plus a couple of those. Right. So we're going to work our way through the books in here, holding them up.
A bit sad there's no snack in there now.
There is no snack. There's also no paperwork, so we'll just have to work it out. And some of these are going to be very, very. I'm not going to have heard of any of these. Some of these I might even have read, and we're going to work out what shortlist we think these are going to go on. So should we just take one out, one at a time?
Yeah, go for it.
Read out the blurb. And talk about when we go. So right, I'll pick the first one, which is Helen Rebank's The Farmer's Wife, My Life in Days. Never heard of this. Have you heard of this? In this honest and heartwarming memoir, non-fiction, nice, Helen Rebanks invites us to experience life in the Lake District as a farmer's wife. this is looking promising already. Weaving past and present, Helen shares her highs and lows, from the Cumbrian farmhouse kitchen where she taught herself to cook and the endless improvisation in producing family meals, to the dog gobbling up her daughter's freshly made birthday cake. These are the days that shaped her and the ways she finds the quiet strength to keep going.
Oh my word.
That sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's non-fiction. So the first one we pulled out is non-fiction. So David, you take a next one and see where we think that's going. Oh!
Weyward by Amelia Hart.
This is actually...
Are you excited?
Yeah, I am excited also. I've put this book on the Patreon book club. This is one of the picks for the Patreon book club.
Ooh.
Read.
3 women, 5 centuries, 1 spellbinding story.
Ooh.
In the present day, Kate flees a traumatic relationship to the Cumbrian cottage she inherited from her great aunt, but the cottage hides secrets of its own. In 1942, Violet rebels against her father's ideas of a proper young lady until he takes matters into his own hands. In 1619, Alpha is on trial for witchcraft, implicated in the gruesome death of a local man. 3 women they try to cage, but wayward women belong to the wild, and they cannot be tamed.
How do you feel about that?
No.
No, I didn't think you would feel, but I mean, I'm excited about that, and I'm planning on reading it anyway. So if we end up picking the fiction shortlist, then
Did it show in my face as I
No, well, do you know what? I thought you sounded all right until you got to 1942 and 1619, and it just went.
Yeah.
So there we go. Right, next up. Oh, this one's got David.
Hello.
This is
Yes.
Kicked Out by A.M. Dasu. Not heard of it. A Boy Everywhere story. So this must be a series. So maybe the first one is from a series. It's from a publisher called Old Barn Books, which I've not heard of. It was like we were outside the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's mansion in those reruns Mum made us watch. But the Fresh Prince in this case was my best friend Mark, and we were in Hale Barnes, not LA, and me and Sammy had been kicked out. Ali's just a regular year 8 kid, looking forward to the best summer ever with his boys Sammy and Mark. Mark's got a new pool and they're going to hang out in it and play football every day. But the universe has other ideas, and it's not long before their plans are in tatters. Ali and Sammy find themselves kicked out of Mark's house, and their friend Adam, spelled with 2 A's, already threatened with deportation, is accused of theft. And just when Ali thought things couldn't get worse, his dad moves back into town. Ali's going to need his friends more now than ever. There we go. Okay. Yep. Interested? That sounds like something David would be into. Yep. So we've got one from each thing so far. So what's the next one, David?
Dan Jones's Essex Dogs.
Never heard of it. Oh, this one doesn't look promising for David either.
No, definitely not. Some men fight for glory, others fight for coin. Coin. The Essex Dogs fight for each other.
Oh.
July 1346. Christ, that's a long time ago, isn't it? The 100 Years' War begins, and King Edward and his lords are on the march through France. But this war belongs to the men on the ground. Swept up in chaos, a tight-knit company from Essex must stay alive long enough to see their home again. There's Pismere, that's a silly name, small enough to infiltrate enemy camps. Scotsman, strong enough to tear down a wall. Father, a priest turned devilish by the horrors of war. Romford, a talented young archer on the run from his past. And Loveday, their battle-scarred captain who watches over them all. With sword, axe and longbow, the dogs must survive from the landing beaches of Normandy to the perilous field of...
I think that's Cressy.
Cressy. But this war is a bloody one, and it's only just begun.
Is that too much for you?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, the fiction long list is looking good for David so far. There we go, right.
I'm not really a fiction kind of guy, to be honest.
Next up, yes you are, David.
Am I?
Yeah. Do you like stories?
And I prefer probably non-fiction books.
Well, the next one is a non-fiction book, and guess who? Clive Myrie!
I was at an event with him not long ago.
Everything is Everything by Clive Myrie, who is the presenter of...
University.
No.
Mastermind.
I started saying University Challenge because you said it, and it also hosts the BBC Radio 5 Live breakfast show that we... he's occasionally on it, isn't he? Sort of like cover for...
I've never heard him on it.
Oh, I've heard him on there a few times, yeah. Anyway, this is about Clive Myrie. As a Bolton teenager with a paper round, Clive Myrie read all the newspapers he delivered from cover to cover and dreamed of becoming a journalist. In this deeply personal memoir, he tells how his family history has influenced his view of the world, introducing us to his Windrush generation parents, a great-grandfather who helped build the Panama Canal, and a great-uncle who fought in the First World War and later became a prominent police detective in Jamaica. He tells of pride in his roots, but also his determination not to be defined by his background in dealing with the challenges of race and class to succeed at the highest level. Moving, engaging, revealing, Everything is Everything is a story of both love and hate, but also hope. There we go, non-fiction. Okay. What's next? Oh, I think I've bought my dad that book before, Prisoners of Geography.
The Future of Geography by Tim Marshall.
Let's go.
Spy satellites orbiting the moon, space metals worth billions, humans on Mars within our lifetime. This isn't science fiction, it's astropolitics. Space is already central to our lives on Earth, from communication and military strategy to international relations. Now it is becoming the latest arena for human exploration, exploitation and possibly conquest. With China, the USA and Russia leading the way, we're heading up and out and we're taking our power struggles with us. If you've ever wondered why humans are going back to the moon, which countries will benefit most from space exploration, and if lasers on satellites will lead to space wars, the answers are here. As we enter a new age of the space race, this gripping book will help you understand how it will transform the future of global politics on Earth.
There we
Well,
go.
it won't help me understand it.
Why?
Because I ain't reading it.
Oh God! Right. Okay. Well, it's going well, isn't it? It's going very well. Right. Let's take a. Oh, there is a list here. There is a list here. Right. Let's take a picture book. The first picture book is There's a Tiger on the Train by Marisa Dulac and Rebecca Cobb. It says, you'll never guess what happened on our trip down to the sea. A tiger in a top hat came and sat right next to me. Off to the seaside, they go on a rather extraordinary train journey. But will Dad ever look up from his phone? Well, maybe I'll give this to my dad, or maybe to my husband David. Cheeky. First of the picture books. It looks great. Love a picture book. Oh, God, that front cover's gorgeous.
Finding Hildasay by Christian Lewis.
Beautiful.
Christian Lewis. Chris had hit rock bottom, suffering with depression so severe he would shut himself in his bedrooms for weeks. Then one day, while surfing, his only respite, he cast his eyes along the coastline and realised it was the only place he really wanted to be. Making an impulsive decision to set himself a challenge, walk the entire coastline of the UK. I would love to do that.
I think I follow him on Facebook.
Oh, do you?
He's got a dog called Jet. The dog's just died, actually. I think he's got
Jet.
a dog called Jet. Yeah. I follow him on Facebook.
Oh, he took a few days to rustle up a tent and walking boots, then left for good with just a tenner in his pocket and 2 days worth of food. Little did he know that at the time just how long it would take to cross the finish line, and that the encounters ahead of him would turn his life around, from scaling mountains and being moved by the kindness of strangers to adopting a dog called Jet who would change his life.
They've had a baby as well while they've been doing all this walking.
But it was on an uninhabited island called Hildasay that he found pride and respect within himself, and the more remarkable his journey become. Happiness and hope were just around the corner.
There we go. That sounds great, doesn't it?
Yes, that does. And there's photos. Yes,
Very good.
That's top so far.
Next up is Natalie Haynes' Divine Might, Goddesses in Greek Myth. So I've read another book by Natalie Haynes, of which I can't remember the name of it, but let's have a look. Also by Natalie Haynes. I have read... Oh, Stone Blind, because it was longlisted for the Women's Prize. So Natalie Haynes, I believe, is an author that majority writes retellings of Greek mythology. Something that I'm not mad on, if I'm being honest. So it says here, get ready to meet the goddesses. Natalie Haynes, author of the best-selling Pandora's Jar, returns to the world of Greek myth. We meet Athena, who sprang fully formed from her father's head, goddess of war and wisdom, guardian of Athens. We run with Artemis, goddess of hunting and protector of young girls, apart from those she decides she wants as a sacrifice. Then there's the queen of all Olympian gods, Hera. That's Hercules' mum, isn't it? Zeus's long-suffering wife, who's just... Don't you remember from Hercules? Just... Irrelevant. I don't need to take it in because I won't be reading it. That sort of thing. What is this about, David?
It's Greek mythology.
Yeah. You just...
Hercules' mum.
Zeus's long-suffering wife, whose jealousy of his dalliances with mortals, nymphs and goddesses leads her to wreak her elaborate, vicious revenge on those who have wronged her. These goddesses and their divine sisters, Demeter, Hestia, the Muses and the Furies, are as mighty, revered and destructive as their male counterparts. Isn't it time we looked beyond the columns of the ruined temple to the awesome power within? So this is non-fiction. This goes on the non-fiction list. I thought it was going to be fiction. There we go. Oh!
Yellowface.
I've read this.
Do we need to read the blurb on this?
Read the blurb still.
Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kwan. This is one hell of a story, it's just not hers to tell. When failed writer June Hayward witnesses her rival Anitha Liu die in a freak accident, she sees her opportunity and takes it. So what if it means stealing Athena's final manuscript? So what if it means borrowing her identity? So what if the first lie is only the beginning? Finally, June has the fame she always deserved, but someone is about to expose her. What happens next is entirely everyone else's fault.
I love that.
Yeah,
book.
I remember you said how much you loved it.
Yeah.
I wonder if I would enjoy that.
I wonder if you would too. Another picture book. This is Snail in Space from Out of This World bestsellers Rachel Bright and Nadia Shireen. One snail, one dream, one hilarious story about the power of purpose, persistence and passion that can take you anywhere.
Look at them on the back. They're
That's
so cute.
They've all got little space
Yeah.
helmets on. Oh my god, adorable.
Adorable.
Adorable. Right,
Yeah.
go on then.
Let's do... Oh!
Oh, this is exciting. I've not read this. I don't even think I've read the fourth one, actually.
Heartstopper, Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. And it just says Nick and Charlie are in love, but what happens next? And there's a university road trip itinerary by Tara, Elle and Nick.
Yeah, so I think this is documenting the part when Nick goes to university and Charlie is left behind and how their relationship can handle it.
Where are they up to on the actual Netflix series? Is that the next?
No, they go to France in that one, don't they? So I think we've seen series 3, so we've got series volume 4 and 5 to come in book, and maybe that last series is that. But yeah, so that must be a children's one. Let's have a look. Another one of my favourites. This is Babel by Rebecca F. Kuang again.
Book of the year.
This was these were in my top 3 books of the year last year. This is set in Oxford 1836. David's ears turn off. The city of dream inspires. It is the centre of all knowledge and progress in the world, and at its heart is Babel, Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institution of Translation, the tower from which all the power of the empire flows. Orphaned in Canton and brought to England by a mysterious guardian, Robin Swift thought Babel a paradise until it became a prison. But can a student stand against an empire? Try and sound interested and stop looking at the next book before I've even finished reading this one. I think David might have decided what shortlist he wants to read already. This was amazing. It was so good and I loved it. I read it last year and I've listened to the audiobook of it again this year already, so it might be a bit much for me to read it again for the third time in basically 6 months, but there we go. Next up, David. Oh, I've been meaning to read this.
Really good, actually, by Monica Heisey. Maggie's marriage has ended just 608 days after it started, but she's fine. She's doing really good, actually. Sure, she's alone for the first time and can't afford her rent, and her obscure PhD is going nowhere. But at the age of 29, Maggie is determined to embrace her new status as a surprisingly young divorcee. As Maggie throws herself headlong into the chaos of her first year of divorce, she soon finds herself questioning everything, including, why do we still get married? Did I fail before I even got started? And how many 4 AM delivery burgers do I need to eat until I am happy?
How many 4 AM?
6.
6, is it? I've been meaning to read this for a while, although I've got a friend who read this and said they found it very, very depressing. So it looks quite fun on the front cover, but yeah, apparently quite depressing. Right, next up we've got Frank Cottrell Bryce, who's written The Wonder Brothers, which is illustrated by Stephen Lenton. Drum roll please for Nathan, that's me, and Middy, that's her. We are the Wonder Brothers. Cousins Middy and Nathan love magic, the onstage cape swirling out of the hat kind. So when the famous Blackpool Tower vanishes the night of the big switch on, showman Nathan announces live on TV that they will magic it back home. With a stick of rock, a spangly cape and a bit of misdirection, they end up lost in Las Vegas, home to the Grand Master of Illusion and magic legend Perplexion, but nothing is as it seems. There we go. That looks quite fun. Blackpool. Here we go.
The Final Year by Matt Goodfellow.
There was 2 names on there, wasn't there? Oh, illustrated by
Joe Todd Stanton. Life could be tough. Life could be tough in the last year of primary school. Everyone's eyes are on you. There's tests to take and a whole new world of high school to get ready for. But it's all okay as long as your best friend's by your side, right? Except for Nate. It's not. His best friend's been put in another class and becomes mates with someone new. He's busy at home, helping to look after his two young brothers while mum's at the bingo. And when disaster strikes for his littlest brother Dylan, Nate's final year gets tougher than ever. And a powerful story told in verse about finding your voice, your place and your people from one of the UK's most exciting writers, Matt Goodfellow, with illustrations from Yoto, Carnegie Shadowers' Choice Award winner Joe Todd Stanton.
Let's have a look at it. Oh, I do like a novel set in verse.
I've never read anything like this before.
They read very fast and they're also, it's amazing how much they end up getting into it. So yeah, great.
Oh, okay.
I've not heard of that. That sounds brilliant.
I do like the illustrations, they're lovely.
Yeah. Great. We'll get into the business end now. The Great Storm Whale by Benji Davis. I feel like I've read another one. Maybe the Storm Whale. I think maybe my niece has got out from the library before. One stormy night, Noy's grandma tells him a story. It's the story of a girl, a whale and a friendship that will echo down the generations. Return to the world of the Storm Whale for an unforgettable new adventure.
Cute. Lovely illustrations. I'll join you.
Yeah, do me.
The Dress in the Window by Robert Tregoning and Pippa Kernick.
Already very into that sparkly front cover.
I thought you might be. One afternoon on the high street in town, a boy with his mum saw a sparkling gown. There in that moment, the boy made a wish to put on that dress and to swirl and to swish. Lovely. A boy longs for a dress and imagines the happiness it will bring. Read his story, feel the joy, share the love.
Lovely. Let's have a little peek inside. Nice.
I love his big glasses.
Very cute.
Nice.
Nice.
Yep, like that.
Okay. What have we got here then? Old God's Time by Sebastian Barry. This is Booker Prize longlisted in 2023. Yeah, so here we go. I'm sure I've read a book by Sebastian Barry before. Tom Kettle, a retired policeman and widower, has his solitude interrupted when two former colleagues turn up at his door to ask about a decades-old case. A case that Tom never quite came to terms with. His peace is further disturbed when his new neighbour, Miss McNaughty, a young single mother, urgently asks for his help. There we go. No? You don't feel anything?
No, not really.
No!
Not my kind of cup of tea, but...
Oh, this is what that looks like. Okay, that's a non-fiction.
The Golden Mole by Catherine Rundle.
I've only seen a big hardback illustrated version of this, and I actually thought it was a children's book. Maybe it is a children's book.
Is that the blood there, in that bit there?
Yeah, on the French flap, David.
Ooh, sacre bleu. The world is more astonishing, more miraculous and more wonderful than our wildest imaginings. In this passionately persuasive and sharply entertaining book, Catherine Rundle tells us how and why. A gorgeously illustrated collection of the lives of some of the Earth's most astounding animals, The Golden Mole is a chance to be awestruck and love-struck, to reckon with the beauty of the world, its fragility and its strangeness.
Just have a little flick and see if there's pictures and stuff in there. There's not, but it's just... Oh, there's little ones, yeah.
The little mole. Oh, just there though. And the little hermit crab.
So I think it's about different
quite
animals.
Interesting.
So is that non-fiction? Oh, let me look at the list and it will tell me where it belongs.
And right to the end is,
I don't know if it's...
the Golden Mole, and it's quite cute. That golden
oh yeah,
mole
that belongs in the non-fiction section.
There we go. How many have we got left?
4.
4.
Grandad's Pride by Harry Woodgate. Lovely stuff.
Oh, look.
Harry Woodgate. Oh, there we go. Grandad and Gramps once went to many Pride parades, but now Grandad says his partying days are over. Millie isn't convinced. If Grandad won't travel to Pride, then Pride will have to come to him. Together they organise a fantastic day of celebrations, but just as the parade starts, Grandad is missing. Perhaps he's not coming after all. Now, I remember this book because I bought, I think Grandad's Camper, which is also by this same author, won Waterstone's Book of the Year one year, and I bought it for my friend's son for Christmas, and it turns out that it's really, really sad, and it's about Gramps dying. So Grandad and Gramps are in a relationship and then hanging on to his camper van, and it's really, really sad.
Is
and
that
I
the
bought
camper van?
it must be. Yeah, it is. Look, Grandad's camper
Oh
van.
no, it is.
So I bought it, and yeah, and I didn't realise it was really sad. So yeah, I gave that, and I said to Emily, I was like, I'm so sorry. It was so sad. She said it was very good. There we go. What have you got? The
Cat Who Couldn't Be Bothered by Jack Kirkland.
Over there.
Hi Greg, do you want to play? Meet the cat who couldn't be bothered to do anything at all. He didn't want to play, he really didn't want to go out on adventures, and he certainly didn't want to become the first cat in space. No, this was well and truly a cat who couldn't be bothered. This is a funny, heartwarming and important story about a small cat, his big feelings, and the importance of speaking up when you feel down.
Cute!
I mean, oh my god, it's just full of cats. Look at this beautiful...
You're going to have a lovely time.
I mean, I could be the cat.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just can't be bothered.
No, a lot of the time you cannot be bothered. Right, okay, I will take this one. Okay, so these are both in the children's section. This is Safiyyah's War by Heba Noor Khan. War comes to the streets of Paris and Safiyyah's life changes forever. Her best friend's family have fled. The bombing makes her afraid to leave the mosque where she lives, but when her father is arrested by the Nazis for his secret resistance work, it falls to Safiyyah to run the dangerous errands around the city. It's not long before hundreds of persecuted Jews seek sanctuary at the mosque. Can Safiyyah find the courage to enter the treacherous catacombs under Paris and lead the Jews to safety? It's fine as well. It looks good, doesn't it? Right, okay. Last one then, David. Then we've got to pick what we're going to read.
The Clockwork Conspiracy by Sam Sedgman.
I think it looks as though it's part of a series called Isaac Turner Investigates. So what is it about? That box, even on its own, is heavy.
Isaac Turner's father has vanished. Nobody knows how. When every second counts, will Isaac solve the mystery in time? Aspiring inventor Isaac Turner lives with his dad, the horologist in charge of Big Ben.
I don't know what horologist means.
No. But when his father vanishes from the belfry on the night the clocks go back, leaving behind only a smashed pocket watch and a cryptic message, Isaac determines to find him. Hunting a trail of clues throughout London's landmarks, Isaac uncovers a sinister plot in the gears of government and finds himself in a race against time to save his father and time itself.
Oh, well, there we go. So that is 24 books.
Wow.
And let's just run through them and then we'll pick a shortlist to read between us. We can't pick this as a shortlist, David. I'm sorry. So the shortlist for the picture books are The Cat Who Couldn't Be Bothered by Jack Kurland, Grandad's Pride by Harry Woodgate, The Dress in the Window by Robert Tregonin and Pippa Kernick, The Great Storm Whale by Benji Davis, Snail in Space by Rachel Bright and Nadia Shireen.
So cute.
And There's a Tiger on the Train by Marissa Dulac and Rebecca Cobb.
So is that from the series Hey Tiger, the Tiger Who Come to Tea? Is that the same tiger?
So, no, because that's written by Judith Kerr. And that's not that person. But there we go.
Oh, okay.
Right. And then what's on the children's long list, David?
So we've got The Clockwork Conspiracy by Sam Sedgman. We got Safiyyah's War by Hibna Noor Khan. Then we've got The Final Year by Matt Goodfellow. What are you giggling about?
Did you look at them and then you go...
The Wonder Brothers by Frank Cottrell Boyce. Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. And Kicked Out by A.M. Dasu.
Very good. Then on the non-fiction shortlist, we've got The Golden Mole and Other Vanishing Treasure by Catherine Rundle. We've got Divine Might by Natalie Haynes. We've got Finding Hildasay by Christian Lewis. We've got The Future of Geography by Tim Marshall. We've got Everything is Everything by Clive Myrie. And we've got The Farmer's Wife, My Life in Days by Helen Rebanks. And then the last one is the fiction shortlist. And on that shortlist is...
Oh God's Time by Sebastian Barry.
I didn't even finish talking for sure.
I was really...
Oh God's
Yeah.
Time!
Really good actually by Monica Heisey. Babel by R.F. Kwang. Yellowface by Rebecca F.
Krang. Same person.
That was RF.
Yeah.
That's what threw me.
No, that's sometimes, David, women have to publish under initials so that more people will buy their books because people will not buy books from women.
Dan Jones. The Essex Dogs. Well done, Dan. And Weyward by Amelia Hart. Is it fitting that the first book we picked out is the last book to be introduced?
Except I think the first book we picked out was The Farmer's Wife, not Weyward.
Correct. Second,
Right.
Second.
Okay, so which of these shortlists would you... The non-fiction?
Yeah.
Not the children's ones?
No, because I really want to read The Farmer's Wife and I really want to read Finding...
Well, that's decided then. So we're going to read the non-fiction shortlist, and that is so as I pick them up, so we've got to pick 3 each. So as I pick them up, you tell me which you want.
Okay, I know what 3.
Okay, so Finding Hildasay by Christian Lewis.
Yes.
Go on then. The Farmer's Wife,
Yes.
My Life in Days by Helen Rebanks, and Everything by Clive Myrie. So that leaves me with the one that David could barely contain his disdain over. The Future of Geography by Tim Marshall. How Power and Politics in Space Will Change Our World. Divine Might by Natalie Haynes. And The Golden Mole by Catherine Rundle.
How do you feel about them 3?
I feel good about these 3.
Yeah?
I feel good, yeah. I mean, I've wanted to read this for a while, so that
That's
excites
good.
me that I can read that. I think it's a beautiful book.
It's a beautiful book, yeah.
I've always got interested in Greek mythology, but I haven't got on with fiction of Greek mythology. So maybe non-fiction with Greek mythology is the way for me to go, so I'm excited about that. And then, like I said, I've heard very good things about Prisoners of Geography and things about maps and stuff like that, and I enjoy, like, maybe space isn't my thing, but I think I'll get on quite well with the sort of power and politics and stuff like that. So, yeah, I feel... Okay, would I have preferred to have read The Farmer's Wife? Yes. But I want my husband...
Well, do you want to swap then?
Oh, what, for the... There's no way.
No, I was going to say for the mole.
No, because that's the only one I actually wanted to read. You pick... No, for the mole, the only one you want to read.
But I mean, to be honest, like, you could read 2 of these books by the time it takes me to read 1.
Well, if that's the case, then we'll reassess. But at the moment, I'd like to split it down the middle so that we've both got 3. So what have you got, and why were they interesting to you over the others?
Everything is Everything by Clive
Myrie.
Everything by Clive.
No, not everything by everything.
Everything is Everything by
By
Clive
the way, I'm not cutting any of that. I can see you calling him Clive Myrie.
No, I don't care. It's fine. Everything is Everything by Clive Myrie. I picked this because I like autobiographies, biographies, memoirs. I find them really interesting, and I think this is going to be an interesting one. I really like Clive Myrie anyway.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy, and when name dropping, when he was at that event that I was filming,
yeah,
he looked so just cool, and he was in quite casual gear.
So if you ever cross his path again, you can say, "All right, Clive, I've read your book," and also, David, they've got pictures.
All right, Clive,
Hello,
Clive Murr. I read your book. Everything's everything. Yeah.
Okay, right. So that's the first one. So you picked that. So why did you want to read The Farmer's Wife
by
Helen Rebanks?
By Helen Rebanks, My Life in Days. I mean, it just sounds bloody lovely.
It does sound lovely. I will be reading that at some point.
Yeah.
So just to say, once I finish these, I can start picking from yours. So if you want to...
That's going to happen. Like, yeah, out in the Lake Districts, which we think is beautiful anyway. Just day-to-day shit, innit? And
yeah.
It's just lovely. And it sounds a bit like... It's like a feature-length episode of The Archers.
It does sound a bit like a feature.
Like a movie version.
That little finger on there was very cute. If it's set in... Oh God, look, late afternoon.
Just the late afternoon. I love the late afternoon. That's time for naps.
Oh God, this is lovely. It's got, look, roast beef and Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah.
Eggs, nice.
Lovely.
And then why did you want?
And then Christian Lewis's Finding Hildasay. I mean, it's like a journey with an animal.
Yeah.
And it's doing something that I would love to do one day, which is walking the entire coastline, because.
But we'll never do it because we
can't be bothered. We can't be bothered. Where's that
we'll
cat?
read a book about it.
Yeah.
So we'll read a book about it.
But yeah, this sounds like, and I've read several books like this where people go on like adventure journeys. Like there was one, the penguin one.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just that one.
No, you've read a few.
Yeah, I've definitely read a few, but I can't remember the names.
You liked the one about the guide dog as well. That's
yes, exactly, yeah. And
I bought you one about the cat that you never read.
No, that was like Nala and Me or something like that.
That's hardback.
No, Kika and Me was the one about the guide dog, and then and that was a hardback. So.
My fault. My own fault, really.
Yeah. But yes, and this is my cup of tea. It's got animals in it. It's got a little animal that a little dog he's going to walk around with.
Lovely. So do you think you could have those 3 finished by the 20th of June?
Absolutely not. Definitely not. What do you think I am?
Well, that's the plan, David.
I know.
That's the challenge.
I reckon
Stop scrolling on your phone.
I reckon I can get 2 done.
Yeah, well, aim for 3.
I don't think I'll get 3.
But that's the plan, is to get 3 done.
Yeah.
You've split it.
Yeah.
And you've definitely got maybe the easier of the 3. I'll swap it for the mole.
I'll swap it for the cat that does nothing.
So yes, check in with us on our Friday reading vlogs and on our Instagrams and see what we will be reading. The good news is, David, is that you get a little bit of a head start because this video is not going up until the 10th of May. So on the 10th of May, when this video goes up, I want you to be able to say that you've started one of those.
Okay.
Okay? So you've got 6 days to finish Fern Brady and start one of those. You think you can do it?
Yes.
We've got to tackle this, David.
Yeah.
We've got to tackle it.
Yep.
Right, cool. And then out of the other books, I'm very, very excited about all of these. My niece will have a wonderful time looking through these. As I said, Weyward is going to be read by me very soon. Don't know how I feel about Essex Dogs by Dan Jones, but I read and loved both Babel and Yellowface last year and very much enjoyed them. Really good, actually. It's something that's definitely been in my conscience and I've been excited about, but I feel like maybe there's a time and a place if it's quite depressing. And then Sebastian Barry's Old God's Time, that sounds like something that I'm excited about. And then the children's shortlist. I actually am surprised you picked the non-fiction. I thought you were really going to pick this. So Kicked Out, I feel like I would read. Any of these you would think you would read, say?
Yeah, I would read Kicked Out.
Yeah. Heartstopper Volume 5 I will get round to reading at some point, but I need to read Volume 4 first.
Yeah, I feel like because I've only read Volume 1,
yeah,
I wouldn't, even though I've watched all the series, I would like to read them all in.
And then I also feel excited about The Final Year and Safiyyah's War.
I'm excited about The Final Year.
Because it's told in verse.
Yeah, yeah, and I've never read a book like that. And
then Frank Cottrell Bryce, The Wonder Brothers, and The Clockwork Conspiracy by Sam Sedgman. So yeah, some great books there. Great, great, great. So, hold us accountable, particularly David. Ask him on Instagram how you getting on.
Not accountable, just be like, encourage.
Encourage us.
Yeah.
When I said hold us accountable...
Message him saying, why aren't you reading?
When I said hold us accountable, ignore that.
Yeah.
Encourage us is what I did mean.
Give us a good old choosh.
When you're watching this on the 10th of May, head on over to David's Instagram, Beardy David. Just give him a little nudge and say, which one have you started out of those 3 books? And then we can find out which one he would have started.
Yeah.
And you will keep us updated, will you, on Instagram and stuff with what you're reading?
I'm going to try. It's a lot all of this, isn't it?
Well, I suggested it and you said definitely.
I did.
You did. So here you are.
I didn't read the T's and C's, did I?
Is that a bit of a clammy back?
Yeah, I'm worried now. I've got a lot of pressure.
Thank you very much for sitting with us through all of this, and we'll see you again soon for another BookTube video, won't we, David?
Yes.
Bye!